Hello, this is Alpine Comics. I'm doing another video. This video is going to be a little different. I'm going to talk about newsstand, of course, but I just came across, I put together some information that was startling. I've been doing a lot of newsstands. And, when I first started collecting comics, I was around the big cities, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Diego, and, most of my collection at that point was newsstand, because there were a lot of comic shops. They all bought from Diamond, and it was direct market. 98% of my collection was direct market, because I was in a big city. And then I moved to the Midwest up north, and I'm in an area where there traditionally hasn't been a lot of comic shops. So people had to buy them off the newsstand. So when people bring in collections, 20 to 30% of them can be newsstands. And I started running into these newsstands, and I started buying them on that's different. And I started to really get into them and search them and look at the different price variants and stuff like that. And as I was collecting, I kept coming across different issues, different series, where they would just stop doing newsstands and it would go right to direct market. And I couldn't figure it out. And finally, I found a couple Silver Sable newsstands, and I finally put it together. Back in 1993, Marvel wasn't doing too good. They were struggling. Their stock had collapsed. By 95, the market for direct market would collapse, and distribution would be cut in half because of the recession, and they were really struggling. And and I kept seeing these different series, and I finally sat down and made a list. So basically, I made this list up, and it's from Marvel, 1993 to 95. And I'm going to start in January of 93. I'll say it right now, there's probably more books on this list that I don't have. There could be some after 95, and there could be some in 93. So anyhow, like I said, Marvel was struggling. So what they did by looking at all this is that they went to their newsstand issues, and anything that wasn't breaking even and profitable, they just cut. Direct market only. And my list starts in January of 1993. And the first book on the list is Nomad. And the last newsstand issue is number 9. In February of 93, Deathlock 20 was the last newsstand issue. They cut it. And then I showed you my Silver Sable. The first 9 issues of hers were newsstand. After that, they cut it. Guardians of the Galaxy now was a long series from 1990. But after 33, in February of 1993, they stopped newsstand distribution. From 34 on is direct market only. In March of 93, they cut original Ghost Rider. That went 20 issues. But they stopped it at 9, and this is a reprint title. Next one on the list is Warlock and the Infinity Watch. It was a very popular title, but after issue 14, I do have that. I got that the other day. No more newsstand. It was direct market to 42. So they cut the newsstand distribution after 14. In April of 93, in April of 1993, issue 7 of Darkhold was the last issue. No more newsstand after that. In July of 93, it was Night Stalkers 1 through 9. 9th issue was the last newsstand issue. After that, it was all direct market. August of 1993, it's Morbius 1 to 12. 12 was the last newsstand issue. After that, everything else is direct market. August of 93 also, Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance. Issue 13 is the last newsstand issue. Warlock Chronicles, December of 93. It was an 8-issue miniseries, but they cut it off after 6. Okay, February of 94, we get into Secret Defenders, 1 to 12. 12 was the last issue, and I have a couple of those. I have issue 10, and I've always loved this issue. This is Secret Defenders 12, newsstand, and it has the great Thanos cover, face cover, and I love that book, and it's the last newsstand issue. All right, so we got down to Secret Defenders. Night Thrasher, March of 94. 8 after the 8th issue, last newsstand. They only did 8 issues for newsstand. Another long title, New Warriors, April of 1994. Issue 46 is the last newsstand issue. It's a 75-issue series, but they stopped doing the newsstand after 46. Nova, 1 through 5, May of 1994. Number 5 is the last newsstand issue. Now we're going into February of 1995. Thunderstrike was a fairly popular title. 1 through 17. 17 is the last newsstand issue. After that, it's all direct market. War Machine, the first War Machine with the black cut and silver cover, number 1. War Machine won 11 issues. It was newsstand distribution was cut after February of 1995. And I also found Fantastic Force, April of 95. After the 6th issue, it was cut. That won 18 issues. I also found 3 more. And they were Ghost Rider, $20.99. The first 5 issues is newsstand, and that was cut off in September of 94. Sabretooth Classics, another reprint title. It only won 4 issues. It was cut in August of 94. And the only mutant title I've found so far, and I'm sure there could be more, is X-Men, the early years. 1 through 5, August of 94, was the last newsstand issue, so it only won 5 stands on the newsstand. Now, I know most of these are second-tier titles. And, but as you can see, there's a pattern of cutting these titles that aren't profitable because they were hemorrhaging cash. So what I'm trying to say is I think I made a video and I talked about Image, and people are all picking up the newsstand Image because they're low print run and they're hard to find. I showed you some of the books I have. These are also very low print runs, especially the end of the run, like 7, 8, 9 of Nomad. Cannot believe they have a high distribution rate. They knew they were cutting the title. They're not going to pump them out. And because I'm sure these decisions were made 3 to 6 months before they were actually cut. So I found all these books, so they're like last issues inside a series that are newsstand. And I thought it was very interesting. And it shows Marvel that they were concentrating on the direct market, making that as profitable as possible. And the newsstand, anything that was dragging them down, they just cut. It wasn't worth it. So, it's redirected my collecting. I'm going to look for some of these books. None of these books are going to cost you a lot of money. $1.50, maybe some of the number ones might cost you $2 because they're newsstand. And newsstand, a lot of people don't talk about it or know about it. And especially if you're in a big city, there's not enough where people don't realize there's something, just throw it in the pile. Because I know I was in the big cities and it was all direct market, and occasionally I'll find a newsstand. But this is something I just kind of just stumbled onto, and I think it's interesting. I know halfway through the video probably people turned me off. And anybody who lasted this whole time, I want to thank you, and I hope you got something out of this video. Like I said, none of these books are very expensive. The hardest part is actually locating them. and just put them in your collection and wait. If somebody comes out with an article someday about Marvel's whatever, they cut their newsstand, people will catch on. So I hope this interests somebody. I know I won't get a lot of views, but that's what I found out. That's what I kind of stumbled onto, and it's going to change my collecting because I'm going to try to start looking for some of these newsstand to make like sets, 1 to 7, 1 to 9, 1 to 12, and I think I'll win out in the long term. So I always do these crazy things. I'm a crazy coot. This is a different type of video. I hope people get out of it and enjoyed it. Sorry I didn't show more books, but a lot of these, I'm just like trying to look for, and as I find them, I'll show them. So good luck, happy collecting, and ciao.